Hi guys, so today we are going to do a builder tutorial. I'm going to show you how we recommend, or how I like to do builder, using our new hypoallergenic builder. And I'm going to quickly show you a little sneak peek of a product coming in the future as well, probably just on one finger though. So I'm going to show you prep on 2 fingers. I prepped the rest just to speed things up because it is a video about builder rather than about prep. I'm going to do 1 finger manually for all those manual gals out there, and then I am going to do e-file prep on the other finger for people who use e-file. Excellent. Okay, so I am going to do the manual prep on the little finger. So I'm going to recommend using a 150 grit file. I feel like you should probably adopt the same method of prep for all of your nail enhancements that you offer. That is what I do. So if I am doing a builder, I would use a 150 or a 180. It's just a 150 that was on the desk here, and if I'm doing my sanding bands, I'll use a 150. So it's just a very gentle going over, not going over the same area twice, just to etch the natural nail. Now I would go in with my cuticle pusher. 1 second. So I have one here from Lucy Pastorelli. Laura really doesn't have any, so it's more of just a tidy up here around the edges. Just going to go back in with my nail file. I find manual prep really awkward, and it's certainly not my preferred method of prep. And now I'm going to go in with my nippers and remove anything, any dead proteins that I can. I am really not very good with manual prep, and I'm going to show you guys something. Okay, so that's my manual prep for the 1 finger. I am now going to show you how much better that finger will look if I did a little bit more prep with the e-file. Just as an example, I just feel like this is a good finger to show you because we have some rough skin here. So first I'm going in with my mini barrel from Lucy Pastorelli, just to push away those sidewalls and the cuticle. Brush away, don't brush towards you, because anything that you've lifted, you'll then flatten again. Now I'm going to go in with one of my favorite bits, which is the wisp. First, I'm going to go in reverse on the right-hand side, down the sidewalls, and then I'm going to go forwards for the left-hand side. Be really good if when Chris is editing this, he'll somehow be able to put like a side-by-side on this. He's going, I don't think so. And then the next thing I'm going to do, if I can find it, is I'm going to go in with my polishing ball, and I'm just going to try and polish up some of this skin around here so we can see that's coming away nicely. And it looks so much better already. That feels nice as well, doesn't it, Laura?
Mm-hmm.
I did say, Laura, you're not speaking in this one, but everybody loves this one. This one's really good for massaging and cuticle oil as well.
I'm a skin biter, so it's good for me.
The speed at which you change direction is phenomenal.
Okay, so it's not completely perfect. I don't claim to be the queen of prep, but if we look at how much cleaner that was than when we started after the manual prep, you can really see how e-file elevates the prep. And this is not a video about e-file prep, but I just want you guys to really see the difference. We obviously don't have an e-file company, but I just really believe in it, and I think it really can just elevate your treatments. So that's that one done. Now I am going to go in with my sanding band on the next finger. So a lot of people ask what speed you use it at. We recommend using it at a speed of 5 RPMs. I'm really weird when I do my e-file prep. I always start with my sanding band, and because I use it to push the cuticles and remove dead proteins from around the cuticle area, I just feel this really speeds up my prep. We do have a little tiny bit of product on here from Laura's just had a removal. So being really cautious to look at what is product and what is natural nail. Because obviously...
You said, sorry to interrupt, when you said 5, that's 5,000 RPM?
Yes.
Because other people's machines might be slightly...
They might be different, absolutely. So I'm going to do the same prep as what I did for the manual one, but with the e-file. So go in with the mini barrel squared even. We want to go in forward. If you do use an e-file, and you've always wondered why you have a forward and a reverse option, and maybe you've not done any sort of formal training on the e-file, it's because you'll only get, your prep won't be as good on both sides if you only use it in one direction. And the way I always remember it is when you are working on the right hand side, you are in R, which is reverse. And if you are working on the left hand side, you are in F. There's an F in left, which is forward. I just think that's quite a good way of remembering it.
What, you don't know your lefts and your rights?
Write it on hand. See, only
You're screwed.
that's it. So again, in with a polishing ball, which is really nice for going over the skin. If you were going to be using this for massaging cuticle oiling, you'd want to use it quite a low speed, maybe around 5. Then it's a nice relaxing treatment for the client at the end.
What do you have it on just?
If we're just using it on the skin around, have it on 10. And the same with all of the diamond bits, we are going to be using it at a speed of 10. I always like to go in with the nippers because I feel that, I just feel that's the way I get the best out of my prep. And a lot of people, you just got to be cautious of different people's skins because different people can tolerate a different amount on their skin. So if you find that you are working their skin with the e-file, you can notice it going red, that's probably time to stop. So we're just going to give Laura's nails a little tidy up. They're pretty good with our 240 e-file before we go in with our builder gel. Again, I recommend adopting the same sort of prep for any system that you do in this age that we're coming into with hypoallergenic or low HEMA products. You are going to be wanting to use a more gritty file or sanding band on the natural nail. Just to help the products adhere as best they can. So prep has never been more important, which again is why it is a good time to invest in e-file. A lot of people are nervous about e-files, but you just get the appropriate training, and you don't need to use all the bits. You know, you can use them just for removals and infills, but I really do think for prep it just elevates the game. Especially right now when on social media, you know, that's how you advertise your work. You want those really perfect finishes.
To me, prep doesn't make you any money, but it makes your money.
Yeah.
So if you have really good prep, then your nails are really good as the finished product.
And I think it really speeds it up with the e-file personally as well. So I'm just going to give it a wee dust off with our nail order dusting brush here. And then we are going to start. So this is an exclusive, guys. So our new hypoallergenic builder is our Ultima gel. So it's our Ultima Universal Gel. It's called that because you can also use it to apply your full coat tips, but also universal in the sense that it is suitable for most people. Nothing is suitable for everybody in terms of the fact that it's hypoallergenic. So there is no IBOA, dihema, HEMA, or HPMA in this product, which are the main allergens. So we think you guys are really going to like it. So there it is, an exclusive, our Ultima Gel. So we are going to be using that, except for on one finger. Before we get started, I am going to use our X Prime to prime the nails. We always recommend using a primer. It just really, again, it helps with adhesion. Anything that we can do to help with adhesion is a good thing. So we're just going to carefully apply that to all the nails. Primer is also hypoallergenic as well, so you don't need to worry about anything when using the X Prime. Okay, so the first thing I am going to do with our Ultima Gel is I am going to apply a thin layer to all of the fingers. So It's very exciting, guys, because this is actually the first time I've got to use it out of our bottle rather than just a sample plain bottle. So it's very exciting. And look at this brush. Can we just talk about that? Okay, so we are just going to apply a thin base layer of the product to all of the nails first. I find as this is a really easy builder to use, even though it's hypoallergenic. I find it doesn't need, you don't need to be doing particularly special things with it, and it'll still work really nicely. It can be refined. You don't have to refine it. In regards to capping the free edge, I am doing that right now, but I'll be honest with you, I've used it on myself previously without capping and then refining and squaring off the tip, and I haven't had any issues. So yeah, it is just a really nice, easy product to use. We also really advise using clear builders where possible for a multitude of reasons. Number one, and most importantly, it lets you be able to assess your client's nail health between appointments because you can see through the color. Number two, it lets you be able to change the color with ease. I've recently seen people talking about having trouble with clients when they're using colored builders. So I'm just going to pop it in the lamp, and this this can cure in 30 seconds in full heat mode. So there you go, Laura. So we're in for 30 seconds. We do always recommend using 90 second low heat mode when doing builders and things like that, just to ensure comfort for your client. But it's just to show you guys today that this can cure in 30 seconds, which is quite revolutionary, partially because it is clear as well. So that does help. But yes, so I have seen people complaining about or having trouble with on different forums when they are coming to infill a client's nails, but they've used, say, a colored builder, maybe, because there's a lot of brands now doing builders that have, you know, proper, that they are just standard colors to avoid people having to paint over them. But the problem is with this, that when the client comes for their infill, they want to change a color. It's not so simple. So we have cured all of those fingers for 30 seconds. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint another base layer on top of the layer I've just done. I'm not going to cure it. So what I'm going to do at this point, once I've painted that base layer on, is I'm going to grab a bit more gel. This is my preferred method, and I'll see if I can do some other ones to show you guys. And I like to paint a sort of stripe down the middle. I'll then go in with a fine liner brush, and I will use that to move the gel around into the areas that I want it to be. This product also self-levels really nicely, so very little work is needed. I don't know if you guys can see how perfectly smooth that is from the side. And what I then like to do is I'll get the client to turn their hand upside down for around 5 seconds. The reason we're doing this is we're going to get gravity to help us level that gel and pull it into a natural apex. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see how nice and level that is, and I'm just going to flash cure this. So I'm going to put it on to 90 seconds because the second layer is thicker, so you're more likely to have a heat spike, and we're just going to cure that for 5 seconds. So if you are doing 2 hands at once, you would obviously be flash curing this hand, or you can fully cure the nail while you're doing the same on the other hand, or you can use something like the X-Light. Bring that out, oh, that's great. The X-Light to flash cure as well. The reason we recommend flash curing is because it stops the product from moving when you work on the next fingers. So again, just to reiterate, what I am going to do is I'm going to paint that thin base layer on first. What this is doing is called a slip layer, and it helps guide the thicker layer of gel to where you want it to be. So we have got that base layer on. Now I'm going to take that thicker blob of gel, I'm going to pull it down the middle. Sometimes if you're really trying to create an apex, you can do a couple of other little lines over the side, especially when we come onto bigger nails. Obviously the little finger doesn't have quite as much surface area. And then I am going to use my liner brush just to guide the gel and create a nice smooth surface. This helps reduce refining, which is obviously nice and helpful. So you can look down the barrel of the nail, make sure things are smooth. If they're not, I'm just going to get you to hold that there, Laura. You can grab a little bit more gel. I like to grab a little more gel on my liner brush at this point if I need some. If you think we need a little bit more gel to either smooth something out or help create more of an apex. And you can see how nicely this gel self-levels. It's so easy. I know it's hard for you guys to see because this is a clear gel. Okay, Laura, if you hold that finger upside down for me. Again, we're just going to help guide that apex, guide that gel with gravity. Okay, and then we're going to go in for 5 seconds if you want to put your hand in, Laura. So again, this can cure in 30 seconds, but we always recommend using low heat mode with Builder just because you can get those heat spikes, and why not if you can? And if you want to pull that one out. Okie dokie.
What's it called? Sorry, why is it called Ultimate Gel?
Ultimate Gel, because it's the ultimate gel. It's the one that you need. We had a lot of discussion when we were coming to name this product, didn't we, guys?
Indeed. What else could we use for?
Applying our full cover tips. So again, I've done that thin layer. I'm going to try and do a slightly different method this time. So I'm going to blob here, just kind of near the cuticle in the center, and then I'm going to push the gel from side to side. Again, you can see how little effort is required to self-level this gel, or to level this gel, because it self-levels so nicely. Sometimes what I'll do as well is, especially down the sidewalls where you're maybe being a little bit more delicate, get a little bit of gel on your fine liner brush and then just paint down the sides, just to make sure we have everything fully covered. You can also just guide some of the gel into these areas as well. If you find the gel is pooling towards the tip, sort of angle the finger back up the way and let gravity pull the gel away from the free edge. So Laura, if you hold your nail upside down for me. And we're going to go in again just for 5 seconds or so.
So this gel is hypoallergenic?
Yes, it is. So that's another reason it's called Ultimate, our universal gel, because it is suitable for most people. Again, not any one product is going to be suitable for everybody, but this is a good product for most people. So again, to reiterate what I'm doing, I'm painting that base layer on. I'm going to do this finger the same method as I just did the last one. And then I'm going to grab a bigger bubble. I see some people do it this way, swipe, oh, sorry, my finger slipped, swiping from the sides to get their blob of gel. This is easier to see in a pigmented gel. And then we are just going to guide it side to side, floating the gel, so a very delicate touch with the brush, floating the gel up the nail. And as you come towards the tip, the free edge, we want to make sure it's nice and thinner so it's not all clumpy and pulled at the free edge. Again, we can go in with our liner brush if necessary, especially guiding it down the sidewalls. Tip the nail up, the finger up the way if you do find it pooling, because gravity will help it go back down. And then if you need some more, you can just grab some with your liner brush. This is the way that I prefer to do it. Did you see how it almost like instantly self-leveled? I don't know if you guys could see that on the camera. It's amazing. Upside down for you, Laura.
Unfortunately, I don't think the cameras are good enough to pick it up, but I'm sure once customers get it.
Okay, and in you go. Flash cure.
I love it.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so just before we went into the lamp, we got a little bit of movement with this, with the gel on this nail, but I'm going to show you guys how to fix that anyway. So we've flash cured all of these, and I will fully cure them in a minute once we have applied the thumb. So with the thumb, I'm going to be using a different gel. So this is a sample of our not yet released pigmented builder. Okay, so we are going to do the application the same way. So we are going to apply a thin base layer of the product. To the natural nail. So our pigmented builder is not the same formula as our Ultimate Gel. It is still HEMA free, but it does have a small amount of HPMA in it. So it is not the same formula. So I'm going to get Laura to pop her hand in and cure. Let's go. Keep on 90 seconds.
Did you struggle in creating this product to create one that was completely hypoallergenic that you were happy with?
Yes, of course. That's always the struggle, especially one that will work for full cover tips as well. We have been long awaiting bringing out our hypoallergenic X gel. You know, allergies in the industry are absolutely rife at the moment. So if anything that we can do to reduce that is a good thing, obviously. So yeah.
In terms of HPMA, can you give me a percentage of how much is in it?
In the pigmented builder, I would need to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's around 7%. Was it 7% or is it less than that? It's low either way. I would need to double check, but it's low.
What's the kind of average percentage of HPMA in HEMA?
Oh my goodness, it depends. I've seen 25, 35%. That's what I would consider sort of higher percentages.
And if a customer or client has a reaction to HPMA, then can you not use this at all? Well,
there's a lot of discussion because there's a lot of discussion as to whether where raw ingredients are from, how it affects these chemicals and stuff like that. So not necessarily, because not all chemicals are made equal, is what I'm trying to say.
Would you recommend testing?
Yeah, if you're ever unsure, well, always try and get the client, if you think they might have an allergy, to go for some sort of allergy testing. But that is very difficult in this day and age. It's either expensive or the NHS just doesn't offer it. So when you're unsure, a little patch test is always a good thing. Just talking about this colour, so this is one of our more sheer builders that we are going to be doing when we have our pigmented ones. We do have less sheer ones as well, but this is the colour that Laura liked today. So again, I'm putting down that thin second base layer before I go in and grab a thicker amount of the gel. So I'll do my way, which is with the 3 lines, especially because we're on the thumbs, there's a bigger surface area. This is just a really nice neutral colour. I'm actually going to do a sort of hybrid method of this one, so I'm going to float the gel around now that I've done my lines.
Would you suggest when it comes to builder that because all builders are not created and made the same, the texture's not the same, the consistency's not the same, one of the best things to do would probably just get it in your hands and try it out?
Absolutely. That is definitely a thing with builders. I don't like really thick, really sticky builders. I don't get on with them so well. So I do prefer a slightly thinner consistency to maybe what some other people do. I will say there is another product that will be coming out that we are just finalising, which is a lot thicker. But yeah, like you said, everybody, likes different things. So give it a play. Laura, if you pop that thumb up, please. Excellent. Make sure you watch the gel as well when it's upside down in case you need to move it around. Turn it back up for me. We've not moved away. Okay, perfect. In we go. So we're going to do a full cure, 90 seconds here. And that is on our low heat mode on our lamp as well. So, yeah.
So when does Ultimate Gel come out? When is it being released?
Ultimate Gel is going to release at the same time as our gel polish releases, which should be at the beginning of October.
Why is there such a delay? You said it was going to be summer. We've been waiting.
Yeah, unfortunately, things out with our control keep happening. We are trying our very best. We are currently at the end of August and we do have some of the products in the warehouse. about a third of it, but our factory is on holiday, so they will resume manufacturing once they are back. And that is the current delay.
So obviously there's been so many delays in this first batch. That means there's going to be delays in every batch.
No, we have already got next batches underway, so including next collections as well. So we have our next 2 collections literally been made. We have our 2 collections after that. The samples are being made so that to make sure we're happy with the colours, because they're custom colours that we have chosen or made ourselves. And then we kind of know what we're doing for the next 2 collections after that, I think.
After that walk on Sunday morning.
So we get all of our best ideas.
So would you say that you are going to be a baller when it comes to gel polish?
What does that even mean?
A big dog?
I wouldn't say that.
I don't know. I think you've been working hard enough.
Okay, so here we have our beautiful gel. I don't know if you guys can see that, like how, I mean, it's not completely perfect. Again, I don't do nails every day, so I'm not going to claim to be perfect at applying builder, but the product is really the thing doing all of the work. So it self-levels so nicely. It's just so nice and easy to work with. Really, really nice and smooth. And here we have our thumb, which is our pigmented builder. So if you guys can see the difference, Laura, if you go like that for me, so you can see that this one is pigmented. This is one of our more sheer ones. And this is our clear Ultima gel. The pigmented builders are going to be a little bit behind the rest of the collection, but not too long. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the inhibition layer. I'm just using our multi-purpose spray to remove that sticky surface. And at this point, if you need to do any refining, you can absolutely go ahead. We would recommend, for a builder, I recommend using a buffing block. You know, you can use a 180 buffer, but with a nail file, I often find that they can just be a little bit too harsh on builders sometimes, but you can use a 240 nail file if you feel you have to. Could you go and grab me a double-sided buffer, please? Or 180 buffer is fine. Okay, so we are going to go in with a 180 buffer. I really am not that sure that any refining actually does need done, but just to make sure we have a perfect surface for our gel polish, I'm just going to give it a little buff. If you think you have done a perfect application, you don't need to refine, amazing. Go ahead straight in with your gel polish. Again, just nice and light. You don't need to go heavy at this. It isn't a really thick builder. I do apply my builder a lot thinner than other people tend to. I'm just not a fan of big, bulky sort of nails. So when I'm refining, I'm always cautious to be quite gentle.
You said earlier that you think that clear builder, you should use a clear builder where possible. Why?
I've already gone through that. So that you can check for the client's nail health. And it just allows you to change colours between appointments so much easier as well, because especially if you use a darker builder, the customer's maybe wanting a more sheer natural look for the next time round. You're kind of stuck and you're going to have to either remove, well, yeah, you're probably just gonna have to remove it all, so it does limit you a little bit. So that is why I would personally recommend it.
Sorry, I must have wondered.
So on this finger I was just going to show you, just because we had a little bit of an accident when we were going into the lamp, so I was just going to show you what we would do to fix that. Now I use an e-file, so I think that's personally a lot easier. If you don't use an e-file, you're going to need to go in with a nail file, and you're going to want to be really, really careful to try and remove that and work that down. But with the e-file, it's much easier. So I will show you. Which bit do I want to use? I think I'll use this one. So I'm just going to go in with our bit here.
Ceramic living.
Ceramic, I was looking for the words. And we are very gently just going to remove the product from the cuticle. and shape it. You can, of course, use an e-file to refine your builder as well. If you're doing that, you want to be very gentle, especially if you apply your builder a little bit thinner. So yeah, you'd want to be really nice and gentle, and maybe use kind of like a sanding band for refining builder actually, as opposed to sort of a safety barrel. Okay, and now we have got our pigmented one. Again, I apply my gel really thin. I don't know if you guys can see here how thin it is. It is really thin. I'm not a fan of the bulky nail, and we're not using this builder for the colour. We are going to be painting over it anyway, so it's not like we're wanting to keep that colour and create a nice sort of opaque, more opaque finish, or a more pigmented finish.
So how long do you think the pigmented builders will be behind the gel polish?
This is a tough one. Maybe 6 weeks or so. I would guesstimate. Maybe less. But oh God.
So coming into peak.
Coming into peak, yes.
It's funny that it's almost September 1st, and as soon as September 1st comes, I think everyone turns to think about peak.
Yeah, and Halloween and everything. They're getting their pumpkin spiced drinks and whatnot.
I hate that time of year.
You really do, don't you? I like being cozy.
I like to be cozy in Florida, but it's hot.
Okay, so that is us done with our builder. What do we do now? You would go in with your colour coats, get the nails painted and top coated. But that is our my recommended way of doing builder, and a sneak peek of our new hypoallergenic builder / universal gel Ultima.
So for everybody watching the YouTube channel, where can they get these products?
So you can get these products at nailorder.co.uk.
And if you're in, say, the US?
Is it nailorderpro.com?
Yes, the one.
Is it?
Give it this, yeah.
So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe so that you get notified whenever we put a video up. We're going to be trying to be a lot more proactive on YouTube, putting a lot more videos, especially with our gel system coming in as well. So yeah.
Discount code?
We have a current active discount code, which is Friends10, which we announced on the last one. Has that one gone up yet? No, okay, so Friends10, which is 10% off, valid for a one-time use only. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Perfect.